Today is August 7th, 2025. This is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone.
And we arrived home Tuesday night. Spent yesterday just trying to settle in and get everything done. I know you did some yard work yesterday.
Among a lot of other things. So
Yeah.
lots to catch up on, but that's okay.
That's life, and we're jumping back in. Okay, so we're in Joshua chapter 5 and 6 today, where Israel's kind of revving up to take the promised land, beginning with Jericho in chapter 6. Okay, chapter 5 begins like this. As soon as all the kings of the Amorites who are beyond the Jordan to the west, and all the kings of the Canaanites who are by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of the Jordan for the people of Israel until they had crossed over, their hearts melted, and there was no longer any spirit in them because of the people of Israel. Again, this is your same theme that somehow you've caught up on, right?
Right, that somehow God has put a fear of the Israelites in the hearts of the people in Canaan. And the word has spread about how powerful their God is.
And he has said that he would do this.
Right.
In Deuteronomy 2:25 and 11:25.
Yeah. Okay, so verse 2. At that time, the Lord said to Joshua, "Make flint knives and circumcise the sons of Israel a second time." So Joshua made flint knives and circumcised the sons of Israel at Gibeath Har-aloth.
I'm not sure what it means to circumcise them a second time.
I don't know. I think
there was some that they weren't really circumcised in the wilderness time. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to explain it.
Okay,
verse 4. And this is the reason why Joshua circumcised them. All the males of the people who came out of Egypt, all the men of war, had died in the wilderness on the way after they had come out of Egypt. Though all the people who came out had been circumcised, yet all the people who had been born on the way in the wilderness after they had come out of Egypt had not been circumcised.
That's a great picture of how if you have a question in your Bible, just keep reading. Yes.
The answer might be right there.
Yep. And also, I mean, this is on the micro level, but also on the macro level as well. If you're reading something, you don't understand it, don't spin your wheels. Just kind of keep reading through the whole Bible, and an answer will come if you're attentive to it.
Verse 6, For the people of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness until all the nation, the men of war who came out of Egypt, perished, because they did not obey the voice of the Lord. The Lord swore to them that he would not let them see the land that the Lord had sworn to their fathers to give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. So it was their children, whom he raised up in their place, that Joshua circumcised. For they were uncircumcised because they had not been circumcised on the way.
When the circumcising of the whole nation was finished, they remained in their places in the camp until they were healed. Yeah, that's good. And the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you." And so the name of that place is called Gilgal to this day. And again, probably if you look down at the ESV notes, Gilgal sounds like the Hebrew word for to roll.
Okay, rolled away the reproach.
Yep.
That's what it stands for.
Yep.
Okay, verse 10. While the people of Israel were encamped at Gilgal, they
rolled away.
Yep. They kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month in the evening on the plains of Jericho. And the day after the Passover, on that very day, they ate of the produce of the land, unleavened cakes and parched grain. And the manna ceased the day after they ate the produce of the land. And there was no longer manna for the people of Israel, but they ate of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year.
Well, I think a lot going on in that little paragraph from verses 10 to 12. I mean, first of all, they'd been circumcised, so it's sort of like they're going back to the covenant, renewing their covenant. And then they eat the Passover, which was that special sign for Israel. And then the manna stops.
Yeah.
Which had been going on since Exodus 16. And this is how they had been fed for so many years, for more than 40 years. And then it stopped.
Wow.
And when Joshua was by Jericho, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a man was standing before him with his drawn sword in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, "Are you for us or for our adversaries?" And he said, "No, but I am the commander of the army of the Lord. Now I have come." And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshipped and said to him, "What does my Lord say to his servant?" And the commander of the Lord's army said to Joshua, "Take off your sandals from your feet, for the place you are standing is holy." So Joshua did so.
That's what God said to Moses in Exodus 3 at the burning bush.
Yep, take off your sandals. Yes, so this goes back to probably this commander of the Lord of hosts is God himself. Many conjecture that this was the Lord Jesus Christ who had come into the flesh even before he was incarnate. That's where most scholars would lie, and it makes sense. Okay, so here chapter 5 have a lot of little things to do. Perhaps even it's gathering to fight with God on their side. From circumcision to the Passover to this commander of the Lord's army is coming.
Yeah, it's all in preparation for the conquering that they are about to start doing.
Yep, we get to see the first city conquered in chapter 6.
Okay, very famous story. Okay. Now,
And so, if you know the story well, a summary of chapter 6 can be as simple as Jericho destroyed.
Yeah, the Battle of Jericho.
Or the Battle of Jericho. Yeah, there you go, for the song.
Right.
Joshua hit the Battle of Jericho.
Yep.
There you go.
All right, chapter 6, verse 1. Now Jericho was shut up inside and outside because of the people of Israel. None went out and none came in. So they were expecting them, and they were afraid of them. Verse 2, and the Lord said to Joshua, see, I have given Jericho into your hand with its king and its mighty men of valor. You shall march around the city, all the men of war going around the city once. Thus you shall do for 6 days. So circle Jericho one time each day for 6 days. You shall march around the city. Verse 4. 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. On the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets. And when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, then all the people shall shout with a great shout. And the wall of the city will fall down flat, and the people shall go up, everyone straight before him. So Joshua the son of Nun called the priests and said to them, take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord. And he said to the people, go forward, march around the city, and let the armed men pass on before the ark of the Lord.
A lot of things I love about this passage, first of all, is the way that God fights his armies, how the people of God win their armies, win their wars. It's not through great military might, it's through marching around a city in silence for 6 days. There's a trivia question about this. How many times did the people of Israel walk around Jericho? And the answer's
13.
13. That's right. Once every 6 days, and 7 times that last day, they blast the trumpets and the walls are coming down. Okay, so here, that was the plan, and now we hear of it coming to fruition. Verse 8, and just as Joshua had commanded the people, the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the Lord went forward, blowing the trumpets, with the ark of the covenant of the Lord following them. The armed men were walking before the priests who were blowing the trumpets, and the rear guard was walking after the ark while the trumpets blew continually. But Joshua commanded the people, you shall not shout or make your voice heard, neither shall any word go out of your mouth until the day I tell you to shout. Then you shall shout. So he caused the ark of the Lord to circle the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and spent the night in the camp. I almost can hear, and there was evening and there was morning the first day.
Verse 12, then Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord, and the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord walked on, and they blew the trumpets continually. And the armed men were walking before them, and the rear guard was walking after the ark of the Lord, while the trumpets blew continually. And the 2nd day they marched around the city once, and returned into the camp. So they did for 6 days.
Yeah, you got to imagine what the people of Jericho were thinking. Here's these people just blasting trumpets, kind of walking around surveying their city, and they're batting down the hatches, and they're kind of sitting and watching all these people go around in fear and dread of what will take place.
I have often wondered, why didn't the people of Jericho shoot arrows at the Israelites walking around there?
Yep.
But they didn't. I don't think.
Well, we're not told, so maybe they did. Who knows? But God protected them, and maybe they walked around far enough away. I have no idea.
That's true. Maybe out of range.
Okay, on the 7th day, they rose early at the dawn of day and marched around the city in the same manner 7 times. I remember when we went to Israel, we went to the city of Jericho, and it was surprisingly small.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I can't quite remember, but I picture like the same size of our church property, maybe a little bit bigger than that is what I remember. It's probably bigger. I forget how big it was, but it was amazingly small for the whole city to be there. It
was very small.
So it makes sense. You can walk around it in seven times for sure. And it was only on that day that they marched around the city 7 times. And at the 7th time, when the priests had blown the trumpets, Joshua said to the people, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city and all that is within it shall be devoted to the Lord for destruction. Only Rahab the prostitute and all who were with her in her house shall live, because she hid the messengers whom we sent. But you, keep yourselves from the things devoted to destruction, lest, when you have devoted them, you may take any of the devoted things and make the camp of Israel a thing for destruction and bring trouble upon it." There's ding, 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 right? There's a little foreshadowing what's going to take place. We're going to find out in chapter 7 that Achan did that very thing. He took those things devoted to the camp, to the Lord. But all the silver and gold and every vessel of bronze and iron are holy to the Lord. They shall go into the treasury of the Lord. So the people shouted, and the trumpets were blown. As soon as the people heard the sound of the trumpet, the people shouted a great shout, and the wall fell down flat. So the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they captured the city. Then they devoted all in the city to destruction, both men and women, young and old, oxen, sheep, and donkeys, with the edge of the sword. I think also when we were there in Israel, remember Professor Todd Bolin explaining how so they dug, there was remnants of the wall that had kind of come out, kind of formed a ramp in which they'd go up. And
that was really interesting.
Also, they found a burnt
layer,
burnt supplies, and a burnt layer. I mean, just everything here written in the biblical testimony has been found true archaeologically in Jericho. Yeah. It was a hugely encouraging day that we spent there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, verse 22. But to the 2 men who had spied out the land, Joshua said, "Go into the prostitute's house and bring out from there the woman and all who belong to her, as you swore to her." So the young men who had been spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and mother and brothers and all who belonged to her. And they brought all her relatives and put them outside the camp of Israel. And they burned the city with fire. There's the fire. And they found evidence of burned stuff there. So they burned the city with fire and everything in it. Only the silver and gold and the vessels of bronze and of iron they put into the treasury of the house of the Lord. But Rahab the prostitute and her father's household and all who belonged to her, Joshua saved alive. And she has lived in Israel to this day, because she hid the messengers whom Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. I do see here just these people, it looks like, just unquestionably obeyed God and obeyed what Joshua told them to do. They shouted, even though someone might have asked, "Why are we shouting?" They did it. And they destroyed everything, but they kept only the things that God told them to keep. So you see almost complete obedience, other than Achan.
Which we'll find out tomorrow. Joshua laid an oath on them at that time, saying, "Cursed before the Lord be the man who rises up and rebuilds the city Jericho." And there's nothing rebuilt in the place where Jericho was today. "At the cost of his firstborn he shall lay its foundation. At the cost of his youngest son he shall set up his gates." So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was in all the land. Yep. So again, I think that depending upon how much of this you need to remember, write down your summary according to how much you know. I mean, I think just Joshua defeated Jericho is fine. Jericho is fine. Or if you want to remember some of these details about walking around 6 times and 7 times blowing the trumpet and Rahab's family saved, like, you can summarize according to your own will. Okay. Yeah.
I just wanted to point out verse 27. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was in all the land. And I just think about how in chapter 1, 2 times God promised, "I will be with you." And so here 6:27 confirms that God was with Joshua.
Yeah, great. Okay, we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.